Dear all, a very good day. Okay. In the previous lecture, we had started an introduction of testing in the VLSI circuits. We have looked at different methods, or we have given you a brief about how testing is done at different levels. Now, what are the important things related to testing, and how the theory of testing is undertaken? We had also discussed about philosophy of testing utilizing Murphy's law, and we have seen the design flow for VLSI circuits in which testing is done at different levels. Now, following up from the same lecture, in the present lecture, uh, we will be starting with the automatic test kits, and then we will be having little bit discussion about different types of tests. Then we will start a new topic related to functional and structural testing. Then in subsequent lectures we will be going on in detail regarding to these different types of testings. Okay, so starting on, the first thing is related to ATE, that is automatic test equipment. Okay, in the previous lectures we had discussed that each and every device needs to be tested, and for testing a large number of patterns are required to be applied on the device. Okay, if we are going to apply these patterns manually, it will take a very long period of time, because the number of such patterns can be in millions and billions. Therefore, to have a good test, there are automatic machines which are required to test the device. ATE is one such machine, and it is known as automatic test equipment. Okay, it is an equipment that is used to apply test pattern to a device under test. Device under test is also known as DUT. DUT. It is used to measure circuit's power and delay. It is controlled by a Unix workstation or a PC and one or more CPUs that are often built into it to provide housekeeping and data reduction capabilities. Okay, then the other important thing related to ATE is it is part of every system at frequency. Higher the frequency, the less amount of time it will be taking to test different circuits. Okay, the test has one or more test heads which contains buffer electronics local to the DUT, but one mainframe which with common instrumentation and power supply. Okay, so it can have multiple test heads, so that subsequently or one at a time more than one devices can be tested. Okay, but it has a common instrumentation and power supplies for all the equipments. The AT is connected to external instruments that mechanically handles the wafer. Okay, so normally very less contact is maintained with these wafers, as they may require a very specialized and clean room technology, especially in VLSI. So AT is connected to external instrument that mechanically handle the wafer. Thus, while one wafer is being tested, another can be loaded into the second test head, so that the tester overlaps mechanically handling parts with electronic testing parts. Okay, but it is a very expensive device, that is, it's a multi-million-dollar device. Now let us look at the next topic. It is related to different types of digital testing. Okay, so different types of digital testing we have already seen. At different levels different types of testings are done. So in brief, here we have seen what all the types of testing can be done. Let us see. Okay, so the number one is manufacturing tests before manufacturing and testing. Okay, now the circuit has been manufactured and it has been sold in the market. Example, we have a circuit, example we have a laptop or a mobile phone, and it has been sold in the market. So the manufacturing test before manufacturing or testing, it is such a type of test which includes built-in self-test. Okay, So each time we have bought a laptop now, each time we reboot a laptop or we start a laptop or we switch off a mobile phone, then we switch on a mobile phone. So there is an inbuilt test in this. Okay, this test is known as BIST, that is built-in self-test or on-circuit test. The more expensive the device, the more capable is the BIST in that device, and it is one of the most important things. Okay, BIST, you can take it as when we are booting our system, then BIOS is loaded. So BIOS is a sort of a built-in self-test in our laptops, and whenever BIOS is loaded, it will check each and every component of the device. If they are functioning properly, then only system will switch on, otherwise it will show you an error message. Okay, so this type of testing is included in BIST. And maybe you will think that it is not very important for our mobile phones and laptops, maybe, but if you will consider a multi-billion-dollar project such as a rocket launch or a satellite launch, these type of systems are very essential to check each and every component. And such a high category system can have multiple BISTs or multiple BIST software at different technological nodes that they are using. Okay, then there is online testing, OLT. During the operation we can monitor the rocket, then it is an OLT. Okay, like if there is a rocket launch which is happening, and during the launching process only we want to check that rocket is going to enter the next phase, so whether all the equipments for the next phase are working or not. So that type of testing which is done from a remote location is or comes under the category of online testing, OLT. Now the next topic that is related to is source of test pattern. Okay, so we are going to test a device, we need test patterns. Test patterns are produced by ATE. Okay, so ATE can produce test pattern, but we have to tell we have to inform what type of testing we want to do. Based on that, ATE will generate tests, so it should be an external source. Now for BIST, that is built-in self-test or BIOS, the patterns are already fed in the algorithm or the programming of the BIOS, and based on those specific patterns it tests the complete device and tells whether device is functioning properly or not. Then the third case is an OLT, where it may be within the device or it may be external sources, depending upon what type of testing we want to do. Okay, now there are different levels of testing. This has been discussed very deeply in the last online lecture. Okay, and different levels of testing can be at wafer level, IC level, board level and system level. Okay, it all comes before manufacturing tests. At wafer level we will test whether the wafer is of particular resistivity or not, particular doping or not, it is P type, N type, and whatever the specification has been provided, it is following that specification or not. Then comes IC level. Again it is related to, once the IC has been produced, then we will check whether the IC is properly implementing the function which it should be implementing or not. Are there any loose points, proper voltage supply, chip delay and power utilization is being given or not. Then board or PCB level, IC has been placed on a particular board, and then different components wirings has been done on a PCB board, suppose. So whether all the components are functioning in coherence or not, and we are getting the required result. Then finally system level, where multiple devices are connected to the microprocessor and PCB boards, and then the work has been carried out. Okay, then comes types of test patterns. So test pattern can be basically of two types, stationary and adaptive. Stationary test patterns have fixed and predetermined test patterns, whereas adaptive test pattern adapt according to the fault occurring and sequential specifications by using comparators. Okay, so if we have got a particular result, based on that result we can change whatever the next test is going to happen. Now then the important thing that you might be thinking is how fast the test patterns are applied. So when we are actually testing the device which has not been manufactured, then the speed is very slower as compared to normal operation. Okay, so much slower than the normal operation, and it is called DC or static testing. And if it is done at the speed of normal operation, then it is known as at speed testing. Now this is the very important topic for the present lecture, even though it is a very short topic, which is the difference between functional and structural testing. Okay, so the testing related to all the functions that are carried out or that take place in the ICs, boards and whatever. Each and every pinpoint is tested, and it may take a very long time. Okay, with an example, if you would like to see, so suppose we have a system of 25 AND gates. So input is we have gotten input, different inputs, and these are provided to 25 AND gates, and then we receive an output. Okay, so if we want to test it by normal testing, then we will require 2 to the power 25 test patterns, which is a very complex for functional testing. Okay, and if we will use a megahertz test pattern, that is if we have using an ATE which can produce which has a frequency of megahertz, that is it can test 10 million patterns per second, then it will take around 33 seconds to test just 25 AND gates. And if we are talking about millions of chips, then it will take something about 2000 or 22,916 days, which is a lot of years. And this is where functional testing does fail, even though it is one of the most important concept. And hence, instead of carrying on functional testing, we use structural testing. Structural testing was introduced by Eldred. Okay, it verifies the characteristics of a specific structure of the circuit in terms of gates and interconnects without checking the functionality. So it does not check the complete functionality, but it does check the structure of particular gates and interconnects, and it takes very less time as compared to functional testing and maintains the same quality, okay, for the test solution. That's why it is much more preferred. Okay, structural testing, functional testing at a unit level is also called structural testing. For interconnecting results, we have to arrange pinpoints and we have to use multiplexers. Okay, so this is something what we are going to do in functional testing, and here what we are going to do in a structural testing. So structural testing at fault level means that logical operations represent a defect. Okay, number of patterns required by structural testing, if we are calculating here, is much less as compared to functional testing, and it is something 6 into 2 to the power 25 for this particular example that has been shown here. Okay, so time required by megahertz tester for such a device is 0.000016 seconds as compared to 33 seconds for functional testing. And if millions of patterns are required, then it will take 16 seconds as compared to 22,000 days or almost 23,000 days for functional testing. Okay, this is all for the present lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to look at fault models and their representation and so on. Thank you.